Greetings, friends, and hello to all of the beautiful, juicy co-creators here in perfect alignment with our special guest, Lilou Mace. Welcome to Embracing What is Real. I'm your host, Helane Lipson. For those of you not yet familiar with Lilou, she is a French-American author, web TV host, and international internet video blogger since 2005, with over 12 million video views, and the co-founder of a global internet community, the 100-Day Reality Challenge. Lilou is now traveling around the world, interviewing people to offer online everyday inspiration on the Juicy Living Tour. Lilou believes that we can fulfill our life potential and manifest our dreams by focusing our thoughts on what we want, listening to our hearts, loving ourselves, being courageous, playing big, and applying juicy insights, tools, and practices that she presents in her videos. Her mission statement indicates that she aims to inspire millions of people and explore their unlimited potential and make spirituality an everyday thing. Hello, Lilou.
Hello, how are you?
I am so good. How fabulous to be speaking with you today. You are an inspiration to millions. You truly are. And obviously, through your own personal awakening, you had a dream to help people awaken and evolve right along with you, exposing them to new ideas, bringing them closer to living their life purpose. So I'd like to start by asking how it all began for you.
It all began with a video blog. I started video blogging and also uploading meditations on YouTube back, I think, in 2005. And I've been posting video ever since, really. I've now posted 1,800 videos. I'm totally addicted to it. I am addicted to meeting beautiful, amazing, positive people. And so I record those conversations and really enjoy sharing them with as many people as possible. And so one thing, I started as an internet marketer. I started doing websites, and I was always interested about creating logos and brands. And eventually I started the 100-Day Challenge, posted video blogs on YouTube, and now I'm doing this full time, traveling around the world on the Juicy Tour, interviewing great people and being interviewed too now by people like you.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you on. And I'm wondering, as a youngster in your youth, did you have a dream or a vision that you would be doing this work?
No. I could have not dreamed this. I loved as a kid entertaining and creating little shows and dancing. I think like most kids, I was quite creative because my parents were working a lot. So I had a lot of free time without a TV. And so I had to find things to do. And so I think that has really helped me to be independent and to be ambitious on my own and not needing external factors. So that's how I grew up. And I also grew up in France. I grew up in the US. I was born in California. We lived in Arizona, in Scottsdale. So we traveled a lot, changed town many times. I had to go to different schools in different languages. I learned English for the first time when I was 6 years old in Arizona. It was just a lot of an interesting childhood that allowed me to learn to adapt and to grow.
Wow, thank you. Were your parents and family also open spiritually?
My dad was somewhat, yes, he was more on the religious side. But he was also very much spiritual, because he would tell me about the flowers and the beauty in nature and the energy emanating from it. And he would just speak to me as an adult. He would read books like on Gandhi or Martin Luther King, or on different countries like Japan. And I have some pictures of me already back then with those books in my hands. I was already quite curious as a kid. But my mom was not. My mom is still not. She's more and more open, though. She's always been open to alternative medicine. Yeah, more on the materialistic side though.
Now, I found you through your meditation videos years ago on YouTube, and there was something so peaceful and uplifting about you. Now, I know you received your bachelor's degree in European Studies in 2000, and you graduated with honors. And after living for some time in Florida, you moved to Chicago in 2006, and you met your role model, Oprah Winfrey, before starting your cable TV program, Live a Juicy Life. Now, I'd like to hear a bit about how you met Oprah and the impact she's had on your career.
Oprah, she had a tremendous impact. It was one of those moments you're just amazed, so amazed that it was a jaw-dropping moment when I found myself in the audience of her TV show after being invited by her through a friend I had dinner with 2 days earlier that didn't even know her, but they happened to meet. And within an elevator, he found himself in the elevator with Oprah that was had no makeup on and her bodyguard, and started having a conversation about the fact that I was a big fan. And she offered 2 seats within 2 days. And so meeting her, seeing her in action, her show was on Dream Job, was a shock. I was so much in shock that I was so much in gratitude that I wasn't able to say anything, because frankly the camera went on us when Oprah said, "And where is the Brian I met 2 days ago? And did you bring your friend Lilou?" And there we had the camera on us, and I was just like smiling and just like, "Hello." I just had this grin on my face. I couldn't say anything. And then she invited us backstage, and I had the picture with her, and it's just been an incredible adventure since then, yeah.
Well, I don't believe that was by accident. You know, Lilou, I'm telling you, I really believe that your meeting with Oprah was just a vehicle toward shaping your vision of magnitude or what you really wanted to accomplish. That's incredible, because in seeing that, it allowed you to dream bigger. Even bigger.
Yeah, and that's a great thing that we speak about this, I think, right now, because it did allow me to dream bigger, and at the same time it hold my dreams smaller, because no matter how big Oprah is, it's still her dream, it's still her thing. And so when we dream another person's dream, it's still smaller than our own dream. You know, because it's theirs, and so it doesn't have the same space. And so I was still wanting to be her, and until I said, no, I'm never going to be her, I'm never going to achieve the same thing anyway, and it's okay, and I'm who I am, and I'm Lilou, and I'm going to do the Lilou's show, and it's going to be called the Juicy Living Tour. And this was then all of a sudden, the barriers, the walls, the limitations, what seemed to have carried me to that place suddenly has opened up to way, way bigger, because it was my dream. I was stepping in the dream.
Wow. Now, you wrote a book. Actually, you've written several books. You wrote I Lost My Job and I Liked It. You also wrote I Have No Money and I Liked It. But you wrote, I'm thinking about I Lost My Job and I Liked It in 2009 after losing your job as an internet marketing director in London. And the book was a tremendous success. And like many people, was this job like a 3D experience where you felt stifled?
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely stuck there in a place where I knew there was a lot more for me to do than that job. I was, obviously there was already a couple of millions of video views on YouTube. And then I was going to this day-to-day job, knowing that there was something else emerging, knowing that there was other things that I love doing, including interviewing people. But I knew London costed a lot of money. I needed to pay the bills. I had challenges. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to work for somebody and see how things will turn out. And I didn't meet that challenge. Frankly, I received a call one day from my boss telling me I was fired from that position. And on that day, I must say that it was really humiliating, especially with the coworkers, and everybody around. So I decided to record from that moment everything because I knew life was inviting me for something else, something more, something related to videos, something where I could live my life purpose, something where I could have fun and I wouldn't feel obliged. I was very stressed in that work. I started having rosacea, which is a skin inflammation problem that I still have to this day, but that started back then. And you really see the impact of stress.
Absolutely. But it was almost like a fear of running out of money that was almost making you feel like you had to stay. But everything happens for a reason. I mean, and it seems that you used what would seem to be a loss to create a new, beautiful opportunity. And that's when you started the Juicy Living Tour. And since then, I mean, this is a tremendous message for our listeners out of work and depressed about it, because everything does happen for a reason. At this point, you have interviewed so many wonderful people, like quite a diverse group with a wide range of beliefs. You've had Dr. Wayne Dyer, Neil Donald Walsh, Gary Zukav, Dr. Joe Dispenza, John Gray, Sonia Choquette, Gianvalo Melchizedek. First of all, how do you select your guests?
It's really still, it surprises me how it all happens, and I see they come to me, kind of thing. It's I receive recommendations through emails. Of course, there is the people I've read their book, and I want to I would love to meet them in person. But it's really, that's why I start the videos by "Hello, my beautiful co-creators," because I'm co-creating this with everybody watching, and from the suggestions and from the video sharing, and it's happening in this beautiful kind of natural way. So there are some people that are introducing me to other people. And when it feels right, when I feel that the message is a great one, and that it would be good to have this conversation, even though if I'm not always aligned exactly with the topic, or sometimes it's much bigger than what I can see right now and what I can understand with my brain. I do know in my heart I have this kind of green light that tells me to go for it and to interview this person, and that the moment is right. So it can be very well-known persons, a New York Times bestseller, but it can be also people that are not known at all, and that have and are ready to say their message and to speak out. I'm thinking of a lot of people I've interviewed actually in Hawaii, that were in that place of, and even in Europe too, in Scandinavia. That was their first interview and they were terrified. So I have to go through different process with people who are it's their first interview. But I just know I have to interview them, whether they're famous or not. It doesn't matter. I want real, I want authentic, I want open-hearted, I want people that are living in their essence, even people like David Icke that I don't fully understand. I know he's living his essence. He's walking his path. And I admire that.
Yeah. And I mean, you have exposed me to so many new people. I had never heard of Jeff Foster. We didn't know about Michelle Domit. Amongst the people you've interviewed, Mirabai Devi had a seriously positive impact on me. She led me to some aha moments that changed my perception of reality. I want to know, what interviews are you most proud of, or which interviews specifically had life-changing implications for you?
I just love receiving this type of feedback, from you right now. And Mirabai is definitely a special person, and I really enjoyed meeting her. And Jeff Foster was a lot of fun and extraordinary. And there is, when I know and see a comment or I hear something like that, it really gives me a lot of juice, of course. And I had those moments, as you say too, where I saw beyond the interviews. Like I'm thinking of when I interviewed Dr. Joe Dispenza on his property. It was extraordinary because it was really like stepping in his dream. Everything was coherent, from what he was saying to how things were around to. I felt I stepped in his dream, and it's so beautiful to see that and to have somebody that is really in integrity like that. And that's another reason why I did recently the video cleanup, because I do feel there are some cleanups to be done in the industry. There are some teachers that are not in integrity with their teaching. So it's up to us to feel if it feels right. It's not because I'm interviewing somebody that I will follow their teachings, And I challenge everybody to listen from the perceptive, what can I learn from this? What feels right? And what can I apply here? It doesn't mean following that person all the way through or following them blindly. It's about just learning and growing and knowing that we have all the tools inside that we need and the knowledge.
Mm-hmm. First of all, your interview with Dr. Joe Dispenza was incredible. Mm-hmm. Incredible. I loved his house. I loved looking behind. There was a window with trees right behind him, and it was absolutely lovely. And you had such a good rapport with him. You could see. And some of the people you are just so aligned with, they're so comfortable with you. You're so warm. You're so accepting and non-judgmental. You ask all the right questions as far as clarifying you ask a lot of the questions. When I think about what do they mean by that, you come out and you say, well, what do you mean by that? I say, wow. So you really are on the wavelength of the listeners as well. You're just incredibly open and in tune. And I think that is part of the secret of your success. But what do you do when you're not in harmony with the views of the person you're interviewing? I mean, does this ever happen where you don't resonate with them, or their information feels fear-based, or something they're saying you believe is incorrect?
Yeah, it's not an easy position to have, of course, because the camera is rolling and I want to do the interview. But I must say that within the interview space, it rarely happens, because especially when the interview is done in person. If it's done in person and something goes really wrong, or I just end up, then frankly, there will be a camera glitch. Something will happen to prevent me from airing it. And it happens sometimes where I won't air the interview because I receive a warning quickly after that, or something happens. So I listen to the signs. I do the interview fully, or I decide now not to do it sometimes just before the interview. So those are part of the difficult moments, or things where I have to say no, or sorry, this is not going to happen. When I can sometimes even receive the person's fears also, of course, and negativity. So it's part of what I signed for too. It's not all glamorous, and it's not just all meeting those wonderful people. There's most of the time actually saying no's to people, and having learned myself to just follow what feels right within my heart and listen to my inner voice. Sometimes I do not know why I say no, but it just doesn't feel right, or I have an intuition, or I just, sometimes we receive, I believe, information, or just we have this knowing without it's just like that. It just happens. And so I'm learning to follow those. So I don't have much challenges within the interview, because usually I have kind of checked the person, but the fear base happens, and sometimes some people it can be their bad day too. Mm-hmm. It could be that they're not having a good day, and then they can be a little bit challenged. But otherwise, I try to ask questions to understand. I'm probably different in my interview questions than at the beginning of the tour, because I've learned to an experience and practice that sometimes I will say what I think also, or I will ask them for clarification to know what really they mean, but it really happens where I'm not in full alignment with them. And if I'm not, then I still leave it online and I post it online, because I think it helps everybody to see what's happening and what's going on.
But it seems like some of these people are drawn to you for a reason too. Or you're finding them for a reason too. And so they're kind of sort of screened in advance so it doesn't happen that much. But you sure have done a lot of interviews, so many interviews, and you've been all over the world. So you've been in Scotland, you've been in Ireland, you've been in London, you've been in Mexico. Where around the world do you feel most at home?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
I really enjoyed Sedona as well, I must say. I really, really enjoyed Sedona. But Hawaii has a special something to my heart. I really felt good there. I met with the dolphins. Which was a very special moment to me. The beauty of the islands and the people there, and this, you can feel love is in the air. So I do feel very, very good there, and it's America, and people are open.
Mirabai Devi described Hawaii as a 5D or 5-dimensional reality, and things are just, it's of love, and things manifest even quicker. Did you feel that too?
Yeah, I do. I don't know about the manifestation itself, because it seems like it doesn't matter so much anymore. It's just about living and being. So it feels very good, and you're free, and you're free to be yourself. I'm sure it's just a land, I really feel connected to it for many reasons. And I'm sure a lot of people do, but to me, I just know I had to be there at that time. I spent maybe 3 months there total, within all the islands. And it was like Hawaii was calling me, and Kauai in particular. So I don't know if it's, a lot of people describe it. Yeah, I've heard it from other people. Mirabai says it, and it describes pretty well how I felt too.
So, Lilou, you are raising the vibration of the planet. You really are, by exposing the masses to new ideas and philosophies regarding the meaning of life. Some of the topics presented in your interviews, though, are quite controversial, like 9/11 as an inside job, reptilians, organized religion rewritten to acknowledge Mary Magdalene and the divine feminine. I'd like to know, have you ever experienced some resistance from people or institutions that do not want this information exposed?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you're asking me this question today, because I received an email this morning from somebody that asked me to remove one of those videos. Not one of them, but one on controversial topics. And it puts myself in a strange situation. I don't often do those controversial topics, because I can see how then it brings more negativity, And but though I feel it's part of all of us to also be responsible and clean up our acts in our own life, help the leaders, or just help the leaders to also become authentic, and that we can all it can be real, and we can rebuild on some new values. But unfortunately, when you start exposing the truth, or at least maybe even if it's not the truth about another opinion, that could be not the one pictured by the big media or by some of the big corporations or the pharmaceuticals or what have you. It's in all industries, frankly. Then, of course, we can get in trouble. And I do. Sometimes I'm a little bit challenged. What I do definitely comes with responsibility, and I do not know if it's my responsibility to expose those things. We'll see how the future unfolds, but I want to give the opportunity to anybody to express what they have to say.
It
Yeah.
also allows people to question,
Yeah.
the question what's going on. I don't think it's great that people would focus on it, focus on chemtrails, focus on HARP, focus on GMOs per se, but it's so important to have a knowingness that this is in fact going on.
Yeah, it's an awareness. It doesn't mean we have to dwell in it or think about it every day. I definitely do not want to see life that way.
No.
But I do, I'm not a person either that sees glasses through only pink glasses. I have a lot of doubts, a lot of fears, a lot of negative feelings that come to, but I do live my life purpose. I do live with passion. I definitely wake up being juiced about life. I'm definitely passionate, but I do think we have to listen again, ultimately, to our inner knowings and follow our own guidance and stop putting everything in the hands of others. Like, we have to start acting now, and part of 2012, this cleanup, is about that. It's our own internal revolution and letting go of some things that no longer serve us.
Lilou, this is what I love so much about you. You actually are encouraging your listeners to look within, feel, and realize that they are divine beings here for a purpose. To whatever their mission is, you bring them closer and closer to finding themselves and to discourage the dependency. You basically present a whole bunch of different viewpoints, different ideas from different people, and you allow people to look within and feel for themselves what resonates with them.
And it's the same, yeah, and I encourage that because I'm encouraging myself to do it. And I'm in the same process. And that's why I'm doing the video blogs too, not just the interviews and the books, because this is where I share my own journey. And I'm in this. I'm exactly in that, in remembering, in gaining confidence, in giving myself love, in trusting, in moving forward, in knowing that everything happens for a reason, in just living that. I definitely want to walk the talk, and it's not easy. I'm being challenged. We're all being challenged, and it's how we're going to react to those challenges and how we're going to rebound from those challenges. That's why when I lost my money, all the money, and when I lost my job, I said I liked it in the title of the book because there was a great news in all of it. It was a fantastic news. I wouldn't be where I am now, living my purpose, if it wasn't for those incidents. So I'm blessing them. You know, we can bless things ourselves. We can be grateful for them. We can shift the energy of something negative really quickly if we desire so. Or we can stay. We can also stay in our victim mode if that's what we want, if that's how we want to live life. We can all choose. We have free will.
We see, like, this is a very interesting time to be alive. You know, August 2012, here it is. And energetically, whether people are aware of this or not, there is something happening. Some kind of shift, some kind of change, some kind of awakening. I mean, what do you think about this period of ascension and the consciousness shift that is happening in the here and now?
I would put it more in the terms of, evolution of human beings, of humanity, what it means to be human. I think I'm personally feeling that it's like being in a washing machine right now.
Yes.
And you know exactly what I mean. You know, this the events one after the next, the feelings, the emotion coming up, old stuff coming back up, and not knowing how to, why is it there? But it's happening. It's a quick washing machine, so it's quickly can be transmuted, changed, and it's up to us. We can choose how we want to live our lives. Are we going to live from love or from fear? And there's kind of two currents, two earths, one in fear and one with love. So we jump in the current that we want and we live life through those eyes or not. And it's hard for some people to get it. It's hard for some people, especially the skeptic, to see it. but I feel it can be very simple and easy, and there is a way to live a juicy life every day. Like our story is not written in a way that it's not for us and just for somebody else. It's for all of us. And so it's 2012, I see it. I think it's happening within. It's happening for us. It's something collapsing within us. It's a tsunami if you want it to be a tsunami. It's an earthquake inside if you want it to be an earthquake. And it will need to the creation of a new world for yourself, of a new perception of things, of a unity. Of living in unity, if that's what you want, and living in harmony. But it's a personal choice. It's a personal choice.
You see, this is what is so refreshing about you, Lilou, that you give people such an empowering message. What they believe is what they create. Be in charge of the thoughts that you have, because what you believe and what you think and what you put your energy on is what you're going to see. That is what is going to manifest. So it's incredible to give people permission to take ownership for their lives, because that's what you're actually doing.
It's so beautiful. So beautiful that we can. It's so freeing. I feel freer by the minute.
Me too.
I can breathe.
It's so wonderful. Now, on a closing note, Lilou, is there a message that you'd like to leave with our listeners?
To really do what we need to do right now so that we're in integrity with ourselves. So we really are giving ourselves the chance to live our purpose, to at least live and inject love in everything that we do. It comes with courage. Of course, it's something courageous. You might need to do something that you're not really thinking of doing, and at the same time do things that feel right and are at the right moment presenting themselves. There is a moment where it will be really clear that this is the next step. You don't need to push yourself either for it. You just have to welcome it and let things be. Yes.
That is a beautiful message and so important. And I thank you so much, Lilou, for joining us. It was such a joy to have you on Embracing What's Real. God bless you. And
thank you for this interview. Thank you for your passion and your joy. And I can definitely see how passionate you are about all of this. And I love having conversations with people like you that are giving themselves the chance to live this juicy life, to live fully and to embrace things. So thank you. It's my joy.
And what a joy to speak with somebody who is a true inspiration to me. So this is a very special day for me. And I want to thank all our listeners as well for tuning in. For more information about all of our upcoming shows, come see me at my website, www.insightsbyhelane.com. This is Helane Lipson, your host. Thank you again for tuning in. Until we meet again, love, light, and blessings to all. Namaste.